this package right here is not an eBay Mail Day package. Now, technically, in a way, it is, but this is an eBay Mail Day episode. This is from episode 17, where I ended up going off and doing a massive unboxing, a ton of games, and I had like, it was like probably 6 or 7 packages. I thought it was 8, but it just felt like a lot because there was a lot of stuff. And of course, I don't remember every single thing I purchase. I see a lot of bundles, I buy those bundles, and then when I receive them, I generally open them up individually and check them off. But since I'm doing these eBay Mail Days episodes again, I'm not doing that. I'm basically hoarding them up and then basically opening them all on camera. Now, it is great that when I open them on camera, I actually have video, like, footage of showing, okay, this is what I went off and got, or this is what I bought, and this is what I ended up receiving, because stuff like this happens. So, as you can see here, this is the description for the listing, and I'm going to be also showing you a clip of what I actually received. So, it was for a green N64 system with cords, 2 controllers, Donkey Kong 64, Mario World SNES, Mario All-Stars SNES, Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3, Super Mario Kart SNES, Donkey Kong Racing 64, Zelda Ocarina of Time 64, and Super Mario World 64, Mario Kart 64, and Mario Party 1 and 2 64, and Cruisin' USA N64. This is the N64 bundle that I got a lot of, I shouldn't say complete in box, but a lot of box copies. And I thought that was like the major hitting point of that listing. I totally forgot that there were supposed to be Super Nintendo games in that listing until I went through, and about like, I want to say a little bit after I upload the video, I realized, holy crap, I'm actually missing quite a few stuff. So I contacted the seller, and he completely forgot that the Super Nintendo games were listed in the bundle, and he then went off and said that he would send them to me as a priority rail flat rate box. So really super cool. He wasn't a scammer. I'm not trying to say that he was or he tried to cheat me out of it, because you can generally tell when it's one of those guys. You could also tell if he had like seller's remorse. He listed something for too cheap, so he wanted to go off and do it. He could have said return the stuff for a refund, or he could have said you have to pay shipping if you want these, etc. But no, he was sincerely like completely forgot, and I was like, okay. So just opening it up and seeing what if everything's there. I'm pretty sure it is. I don't think he would pay like $8 extra out of his own money to go off and get this, and I always do that. I always put it backwards. But this is the prime example why if you're buying bundles online, you have to always double check, because this is like, geez, this is like 6 games. And box games. I didn't even know that they had boxes. Damn. This is sorry. Like, okay, so Donkey Kong Country 2, the box is like literally destroyed, but hey, it still comes with a box. I can't really complain too much now, can I? Super Mario Kart. This box is in obviously much better condition. It still has tape on it for some reason. I guess it's because it's like has a cut or something, but still. Tape would be better on it, not on it. And then the rest games, I guess, are not in boxes. Super Mario All-Stars, authentic, obviously, has an imprint number. Everything else I got from him was authentic, so it's pretty straightforward that it's going to be authentic. Donkey Kong Country 3, Dixie Kong's Double Trouble, and Donkey Kong Country. Alright guys, since this video was so short, I decided I was going to kind of add another segment to it, to where I'm going to be explaining how to tell the difference between a real, authentic Super Nintendo cart and a counterfeit one. Now, I don't own any counterfeit Super Nintendo carts, but I do own something that's extremely similar to a counterfeit cart, which surprisingly is quite rare, because all the Nintendo carts almost look identical when you take off the thing. Of course, there's subtle differences, but they do essentially almost use universally the same parts. But yeah, so we're going to be going off and showing you guys that. So this is what you should generally see on a Super Nintendo PCB board, right? You're going to have your internal battery right here, if the game actually has any saving. You're going to have these weird black sticks that are soldered on. And generally there's 1 or 2 of them. There might be more, there might be 3. etc. But this is what you're generally going to see. Now the board can be like this big, it can be this big, it can be even bigger than that. It doesn't really matter. What you really need to look for is the Nintendo logos. It's either going to be in white or gold. You can see right here, let me zoom in right there. You can see right there, there's the Nintendo logo. And it just looks like this. This is generally what an authentic cart looks like. Counterfeit carts, they don't use any of these gold-plated letterings. They don't even use these majority of the time because this just costs too much. They just generally use solder blobs, black solder blobs, which are really, really cheap and really, really effective for what they're going to do. You can generally see wiring on the back of them. It just looks like, if you look up counterfeit carts, they look really, really crappy from the inside. And whereas the Nintendo authentic ones, they look very, very clean. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be opening up. Actually, let me just set this aside. Star Fox, the Super Nintendo Star Fox. Now, there's two types of PCB boards for the Star Fox. There might be more, but there's basically two that really matter. And this is the only Nintendo game, to my knowledge, that uses solder blobs. And what are solder blobs? I believe that that's what they're actually called. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what at least I call them. Solder blobs are these black blobs right here that just basically hold on to data or something along those lines. I don't know why they use them, but this is, I guess, the cheapest method for certain games, or I should say certain games for Nintendo, whereas the counterfeit reproduction ones, they use these all over the place because you can use this on every single thing with the technology nowadays. It's much cheaper to do this than to go off and buy the memory sticks that you saw on the Super, what was it, Donkey Kong Country game. So this is what essentially you should be greeted when you're looking at a counterfeit cart. Now, obviously, this isn't a counterfeit cart. This is an authentic Star Fox Super Nintendo, but this is the only game, to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure the only game for the Nintendo SNES that uses these solder blobs. Every single other game, PCB board, uses those black RAM sticks that you generally see when you take apart a game. So if you see stuff like this and it's not this game right here, it's going to be a counterfeit. And also the wiring on the back here, I don't know what Nintendo was thinking. Like, this looks like a counterfeit cart. I've seen counterfeit carts before, but surprisingly this is authentic because I had to double check myself when I got one the first time, and I was like, damn, that's pretty damn weird because it looks exactly what you would expect from a counterfeit cart. So maybe they figured out that after production, I don't know exactly when Star Fox came out, but they probably figured out, hey, we can do this and it's much more cheaply made. Or maybe they stopped doing that because there was some kind of basically maybe there's a manufacturer problem by using that. Maybe they had a shorter lifespan on the carts. Something along those lines. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Make sure to comment, rate, and subscribe, and peace out.